What is up, guys? I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're covering r/am I the butthole. If you're new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe and maybe that notification bell too. And a huge thank you to the members of our channel. You are truly appreciated, as always of course. And don't forget, on these stories, in between each story you can vote whether you think they are the butthole or not. So please get involved. And with that being said, let's get on with today's stories. Much love, guys. Our first story comes from Sadly Ambitious. Am I the arsehole for telling my boyfriend that his masculinity was fragile after he refused to buy me pads? Okay, throwaway because my boyfriend knows my other account. I, 23 female, moved in with my boyfriend, 24 male, of 2 years a couple of months ago. We haven't had any problems before this argument. Things have been going pretty well. Anyway, a couple of days ago I got my period. It came early and I ran out of pads. I couldn't leave to buy some because I bleed pretty heavily and I would have bled through my pants. So I asked my boyfriend if he could buy pads for me from the drugstore because it was late. He immediately said no. I was shocked because I wasn't really expecting that. I asked him why and he said because he didn't want the cashier to see him buying pads. At this point I started laughing because that was hilarious. He wasn't joking though, he just glared at me. I told him that the cashier would obviously know it wasn't for him. Plus, the cashier would definitely not care that he was buying. He still refused. I told him he could go to the self-checkout machine if he was so insecure, but he said that he didn't want anyone to see him with the pads because they'd think he was a homophobic slur. I told him that he was childish and that his masculinity was really fragile if he couldn't even buy pads for his own girlfriend. He got mad and went out. I had to bunch up toilet paper as a makeshift pad, wear black pads and a long cardigan and go buy the pads myself. My boyfriend has been ignoring me ever since. I've been thinking that maybe I've pushed it too far. So, am I the arsehole for telling my boyfriend that his masculinity was fragile after he refused to buy pads for me? And there's an update on this one too. First off, thank you for all your awards, replies and stories. They all mean so much to me. I confronted my boyfriend an hour ago. We sat down together and I told him that I didn't like how he acted about buying pads for me. He said that he didn't feel like he had to and I could have held it in and drove to the drugstore to get pads myself. I told him that you can't hold in menstrual blood, but he insisted that I could have done it for a few minutes and that it wouldn't have been a big deal. We went back and forth over this, so I just dropped it. I asked him, like most of you mentioned, what would happen when we have kids and he has to take care of me by buying me nipple cream, take me to the washroom, etc. He said that I would not feed those things because I should be able to do them on my own after giving birth. He said that there wasn't anything hard about using the bathroom and the only reason I need help if I was a cripple. Then I asked him about the homophobic slur comment. He said that he didn't understand why people would want to change their gender they were born in. That basically cemented everything for me. I felt completely betrayed and humiliated. I can't believe I spent 2 years of my life with a guy who holds these views. I can't believe I was too oblivious to it. I just feel so dumb. I told him that we need to break up. He cussed at me and told me that I was exaggerating and I was being a bitch. I told him that I was sending my half of the month's rent. We lived together, but it was his apartment so we would split the bill. Then I packed my bags and drove to my parents' house without saying another word. I'm going to be staying with my parents until I sort myself out. I'm feeling really down right now because I really did love him, but I also feel relieved. Again, thank you all for helping me out and sending me encouraging messages. I appreciate it all. You hear that, ladies? So in future, when you're on your cycle, just hold it in. Oh my god, how can someone think like that? How can someone make it to that age and still have those views? Oh god, what a life he's gonna have. What an idiot. We know where this one is going, but in the top right hand corner, you can vote right now. Our next story comes from Bra Bitch Throwaway. Am I the arsehole for refusing to dry my bras in my bedroom and telling my flatmate that she and her boyfriend need to grow up? Obligatory throwaway so men don't message me about my tits on my regular account, plus on my mobile, so sorry if formatting is weird. So the other day, one of my flatmates, with whom I have up until this point had neither a positive nor negative relationship with, sent me this long text that started with, "We need to talk about the laundry situation." This was a bit confusing since I wasn't aware of any particular laundry situation. The rest of the text was her telling me that I need to keep my bras out of the laundry room because apparently when she had her boyfriend over, he went in there and saw my bras hanging up to dry on the drying rack and was so shocked, intrigued, whatever, that he checked the fucking tags. I have no idea if this is normal male behaviour, but it creeped me out to read, to see the size, and then wouldn't stop talking about it. I responded with, basically, then tell your boyfriend to keep his hands off my shit and shut up. Flatmate did not consider this an adequate response and told me that I should keep my porn star bras in my room because it's apparently inappropriate to dry them in the laundry room. At this point I was quite annoyed. I don't wear porn star bras, I just have very large breasts and they're a literal constant source of annoyance and back pain. The bras in question were totally normal, but apparently them being a UK 34H makes them inappropriate. I told her that I'm not going to try and dry my bras in my room since it's tiny and we have a perfectly good drying rack in the laundry room, which is for laundry, and that both she and her boyfriend need to get over it and grow up. I know that this wasn't terribly diplomatic, but I felt like she was being much ruder than I was. I didn't really think about it the next day, but now it's been 3 days and she's completely ignoring me, so I'm wondering if I misjudged the situation. Am I the arsehole? Edit and update. 1. Thank you for your feedback. I very much appreciate all of you who assured me that the boyfriend is creepy and that I wasn't overreacting, because I was starting to feel like I was in some Twilight Zone where it's just normal for random men to be examining my bras. 2. As many of you have pointed out, yes, we are supposed to be sheltering in place and her boyfriend should not be coming over anyway. This is part of why I wasn't feeling very charitable from the start. I don't want to get sick, but she insists her boyfriend is safe. 3. Regardless, I decided to reach out to her again and be a bit nicer. Like many of the commenters, I was also pretty sure this was a jealousy issue, and even though she's annoying, I know feeling bad about your body sucks. Since she clearly doesn't want to talk to me, I texted her again and told her that I'm sorry that her boyfriend is making her feel bad about herself, and that I think it's completely out of line for him to talk about my body, as it's disrespectful to the both of us. I reiterated that I'm going to continue drying my bras on the drying rack because it's the most logical place to dry them, and that I need her to tell her boyfriend to not touch my things, but that if she's open to it, I'd like for us to have a conversation about body image in guys, as I've dated men before who made me feel weird about my body, or who couldn't keep their eyes and hands to themselves. She hasn't responded yet, but hopefully she'll ditch him. 4. Seems like there are many large breast women in these comments. If any of you aren't familiar, I highly recommend A. using the size calculator on r/a bra that fits. Maybe we'll cover that at some point, and asking the extremely knowledgeable women there for help in finding bras that are comfortable and don't break the bank, and B. abandon American bras forever because they suck and have a tiny size range. Oh god, we're getting a lot of these ones where men are just being creepy men. Who just goes up to a random women's bras, obviously unless you're a bit of a pervert or whatever, and is examining the labels to find out the sizes? Come on, man. And then goes and tells his girlfriend about it, and his girlfriend goes at the other person. It's like, what the fuck? The bloke's in the wrong. He's the one who's looking at other women's bras. And if he's doing that sort of stuff, you don't want to be putting your pants in there either. That guy is fucking creepy. So is OP the arsehole for the way she reacted to the other girl, even though she came back at the end, but was she originally the arsehole? Or were the other people the arsehole for what they did, the way they reacted to? Or is everyone the arsehole? Let me know by voting in the top right hand corner. Our next story comes from Throwaway SG28. Am I the arsehole for calling my daughter a snitch? I usually agree with my wife's critiques of things that I shouldn't have said to my daughter, but this has bothered me for the past few days, so I thought I'd get Reddit's opinion on this. My girl is almost 3 and is at the stage where she is very chatty. A few days ago, my daughter showed me a broken fingernail and asked if I could help her cut it. I examined it and decided it could be pulled off. It was dangling because she had a chip in it, without using a nail clipper. I then told her not to tell mummy. Edit, I did this because mummy does not like how I cut her nails. Edited for clarity. Later in the day, she of course proceeds to tell mummy. I say with mock admonishment, honey, you're a snitch. I told you not to tell mummy. I didn't expect her to keep it quiet. She is a 2+ year old after all. Later, however, my wife told me that she didn't appreciate me calling our daughter a snitch. She asked why I would ever think it was appropriate and said, I wonder what was said to you when you were growing up that made you think that was okay. That reference back to my growing up experience is a common one, and one I usually agree with. Most of my adult reactions do come from unresolved childhood traumas. However, I'm not sure why my wife felt it was so bad. It wasn't a swear word, and while not overwhelmingly positive, was hardly fraught with super negative connotations. So Reddit, am I the arsehole for calling my 3-year-old daughter a snitch? I legitimately would like to hear what you'll think, and will accept the judgment. Now I'm going to tell you, Reddit voted this guy arsehole on there, but I'm not sure. Snitch isn't as he said, it's not an overwhelmingly positive word, but I wouldn't say it's a negative word either, especially if it's sort of like in jest, just say, look, oh, you're a snitch kind of thing. is it me? I don't see it as a massively bad word. I wouldn't say this guy's the arsehole for doing that. Maybe a very tiny one, but what do you guys think on this one? Because I'm confused. I'm confused why he would be the arsehole in this situation. Vote in that top right hand corner and let me know in the comments below. Our next story comes from Throwaway Accounts. Am I the arsehole for telling my mourning girlfriend to lose weight? Oh god. 4 months ago, my 24 male girlfriend, 22 female, lost her grandfather, 90 male, to pancreatic cancer. She was upset as they had a very close relationship. We went to the funeral and I was obviously upset for her. She was still upset afterwards and I comforted her a lot. After a couple of weeks, she began comfort eating whatever shit there was. McDonald's, Coke, chocolate, you name it. I find comfort eating disgusting, but I figured it was just a mourning phase that'll pass. However, after about 2 months, she was still eating junk and I put on a ton of weight. I lost attraction to her. She slowly began to stop comfort eating, but didn't exercise, diet, or make any effort to burn off what she had gained. A few weeks ago, I had had enough and asked her why she gained so much weight. She said her grandfather's death had depressed her and she was eating to forget the pain, but she was slowly recovering. I asked her politely if she was considering burning the weight she'd put on. She said she would in a couple of months when she felt better. The thing is, I can't wait a couple of months for my girlfriend to become attractive for me again. I want to be able to sleep with her happily, even have sex during this lockdown. I don't want to sit here waiting for her to become attractive again. Call me sexist or shallow or whatever, but sexual attraction is important. Of course, the lockdown means we can't go to the gym, but I do have a lot of gym equipment at my house, so I offered to let her work out in my garage. She said no, she wasn't feeling up to it. So I told her I could not see us continuing the relationship if she didn't make an effort. She yelled at me and called me an arsehole. She's been sleeping in the spare room and not really talking to me since. I wouldn't say we've broken up yet, but she says after the lockdown, she's going to reconsider our relationship. Some of our friends have blocked me or called me swearing of how much of a dick I am because I'm shallow and inconsiderate. Am I the arsehole? I'm going to read a comment that can say this far better than I would, because this guy blows me away that he's actually having to ask this. This comes from Tia Calypso. You're the arsehole. Your girlfriend has lost a very important person in her life and is trying to cope with this loss, on top of coping with the ongoing pandemic and an inconsiderate, judgmental boyfriend. Do you actually care about this woman as a person, or as only as a sex object? She's a fellow human being. You aren't entitled for her to look a certain way to please you. You don't even have the decency to pretend like you care about her health with regard to the weight gain. All your post is whining me, and how I feel about my girlfriend's looks. If your attraction to her as a human being is so weak that a couple of extra kilos lower it massively, you need to go and consider how/what you value in human beings around you. Honestly, the first time women start to consider themselves too fat and in need of a diet is around age 7. This is when our body image issues start. After you make clear to her that a current overweight body is no longer attractive to you and you wouldn't want to continue the relationship unless she lost weight to look a certain way to please you, why would she still want to take her clothes off for you at all? Why would she ever feel comfortable and happy having sex with you again? You're the arsehole. This isn't about your girlfriend's weight in relation to your girlfriend's anything. This is about her weight in relation to your entitlement for her to look a certain way. Amen to that. What do you guys think about this guy? Absolute arsehole. Let me know in the comments below and don't forget to vote in that top right hand corner. Our next story comes from Team Mum. Am I the arsehole throwaway? Would I be the arsehole to refuse Biodad who terminated rights to contact my daughter after he became infertile? I, 30 female, am a dual American/Australian citizen who grew up with an international custody order where I'd bounce back and forth between dad, white American, and mum, Indigenous Australian, from between age 12 to 17. As part of this arrangement, my final year of schooling was to be completed in Australia, so I could take part in cultural activities from mum's side of the family. When I was 15 to 16 years old, I fell pregnant in America to my then boyfriend, and I didn't realise until I was back home in Australia. When I eventually told my mother, she and my father decided to support me, but took my passport until I was a legal adult to stop me from making any foolish decisions. With both my parents' support, I subsequently made phone calls and contacted the father of my daughter. The biodad of my child was also 15 to 16 and didn't want to be involved at all. He said some very hurtful things during this time, calling my daughter a half-breed and other racially based slurs when we broke up over the phone. Eventually, when my daughter was young, Biodad voluntarily terminated rights when my daughter was 5. He never willingly saw her, stopped contacting me, never paid child support and never asked about her. In part, his parents also voiced that this was the best move, to stop him from ruining his life. Daughter has been adopted by my now husband. We have told her age appropriate things relating to this. My daughter is now 14, soon 15, and a mutual friend from America sent me messages that Biodad has gotten into an accident years ago, and he'd recently found out that he can no longer father biological children. He's been sending messages to mutual friends, asking for my contact information to get in touch with my daughter. He says he deserves to have biological children. No one has sent him anything, and I trust them not to. Would I be the arsehole if I didn't allow Biodad to come back into our lives? He voluntarily gave up legal rights, and I'm empathetic towards his new infertility, but my daughter isn't a second choice. Wow, this is an incredibly tough one. I mean, the dude is an absolute arsehole for the way he acted. Totally. But how do you deal with a situation like this? There's a comment below that says, not the arsehole. Your kid is not a backup plan. However, I'll gently find a way to ask her how she feels about it. If she wants to meet him and is denied that opportunity, that changes things. And I think she is coming up to that sort of age where she can make these kind of decisions. I mean, as you say, very, very gently. And it doesn't deny that the guy's the arsehole, but it's the daughter in the situation that's important, you know. But wow, what do you guys think of this situation? Vote in that top right hand corner and let us know. And let me know your thoughts on this one too. It's incredibly sad. And also let me know if you're enjoying these Am I the Arsehole posts. I really like them. I really like the choices. I like looking at what you guys have voted as well, and the interesting comments you come up with. YouTube might be changing this soon. I'm not totally sure. I've heard that they might be sort of getting rid of the poll things on the video, so I'm not sure how we're going to deal with that yet. I was thinking about been thinking about it anyway, of setting up my own website, and maybe I can have a poll system on there, but then it require 2 websites, so you know, it's difficult. But I'll try and figure something out. If you've got any suggestions, that'd be really helpful too. And I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, there's another one on your screen right now as we speak. If you click it, it will tell YouTube you enjoy the content, and it will be really appreciated. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell too, as it all really helps out this channel. Really appreciate you being here. Much love to you, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye bye.